fourth graders, and welcome back. I'm Mrs. Lamondo here to bring you our Fontes and Pinnell mini lesson of the day. This umbrella of lessons deals with memoirs, and today we're going to continue. So we are at LA U13 Lesson 3. So we're going to view the Scraps book by Lois Eeler. Is this book a memoir? Remember, a memoir is a book that is written by an author, including memories of his or her own life. Now, this is quite a different book than we've seen before. I think you're going to enjoy it.
The Scraps book by Lois Eeler. Don't read this book unless you love books and art. When I was little, I read all the books on the library shelf, and I thought maybe someday I could make a book. I was lucky. I grew up with parents who made things with their hands. Mom loved to sew. She had colorful fabric scraps, buttons, lace, ribbons, and many scissors she shared with me. Dad had a basement workshop. He gave me wood scraps and taught me how to paint, saw, and pound nails. So I had wonderful art supplies and tools close at hand. In a small corner of our house, Dad set up a folding table for me. It was my spot a place to work and dream. When I grew up and left home for art school, my table went with me. After art school, I worked in an art studio by day and worked on book ideas at night. I created lots of art, though not for books right away, but I didn't worry. Everyone needs time to develop their dreams. An egg in the nest doesn't become a bird overnight. Where do book ideas come from anyway? I know, I find ideas in the world around me. I've even found them in my garden or while shopping at the fruit and vegetable store. When a squirrel slipped into my house, a book idea walked right up to me. There he goes, up the bricks. On his claws, he steals seeds and eats with his paws. On a trip to the aquarium, while I watched colorful fish swim by, a book idea swam into my brain. I sketched it and made notes before it floated away. I keep my eyes open. An idea may be close by. Once, when I visited my sister, her cat brushed my ankles as he escaped out the door. A new idea. After writing a story, I sketched the whole book, figuring out what to illustrate on each page. Back and forth, I work on the pictures and the words until together they tell the story. My art technique is called collage. I cut out scraps like pieces of a puzzle that I assemble and glue into place. I'm messy when I work. My wastebasket overflows. Scraps lie strewn all over the studio, and more scraps stick to the bottom of my shoes. But when ideas are flowing, I keep working. I often combine real objects with painted ones. I use odd tools to create texture. I spatter paint with a toothbrush or rub a crayon over my grater. Sometimes I photograph folk art from my collection to illustrate a story. I use what's close at hand, just as I did when I was growing up. Sometimes I go for a walk, looking for good stuff. Mother Nature gives me a free art supplies. Day after day, I work until the art looks just right to me. You might ask, why did I choose to be an artist? I think maybe it's the other way around. Art chose me. If you feel that way too, I hope you'll find a spot to work and begin. I wish you a colorful life.
Wow. I love seeing that book because it's so different than other books that we've read. Here, our author shows us how she became an artist. And not an artist like Jackson Pollock or Mary Cassatt, like we've read about in the past, but an artist, rather, who uses what form of art? Collage. So this book can be considered a memoir because our author is telling us all about how she became an artist. Let's read another book called Play Ball by George Pasada. Is this book a memoir?
This is Play Ball by Jorge Pasada with Robert Burleigh and illustrated by Raul Colon. This is a memoir by a famous baseball player, Jorge Pasada. It's about how he learned to bat left-handed, and it was so hard, he almost gave up. The book is Play Ball, and most of the story takes place in Puerto Rico, where Jorge grew up. Play Ball by Jorge Pasada. I can't. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Yes. Get ready. Jorge crouched in the batter's box. Everything felt strange. He was batting left-handed for the first time. He squinted towards the pitcher's mound, where his father waited. His father lobbed the ball. Jorge lunged awkwardly and missed. Again. The ball bounced to the backstop and rolled alongside 4 other balls that Jorge had swung at and missed. This is impossible. I can't do it, Papa, the boy called. I can't. Yes, you can. His father trotted down from the mound to home plate. He stood behind Jorge and gently curled his arms around his son. Hold the bat this way, he said, moving Jorge's hand slightly, and bend your knees a bit more. Jorge's father stepped back. Jorge swung at the empty air. It feels weird, he complained. I'm good batting right-handed. Do I have to? Good isn't best, his father broke in, at the same time picking up the baseballs and heading back to the mound. It was early Saturday morning, and Jorge and his father were the only ones on the field. Jorge's father threw, and again Jorge swung and missed. On the next pitch, Jorge got a small piece of the ball. It flew upward, clanged against the crosswire top of the batting cage, and landed in the dust with a dull plop. See, his father called, you're getting the idea. It's not even in fair territory, Jorge grumbled. Then he leaned forward once more, tensed his body, and waited. Jorge thinks it's impossible for him to learn to bat left-handed. Why do you think he believes this? Splat. The hard rubber ball echoed across against the concrete wall. It was Wednesday. After the long bus ride home from school, Jorge wanted to do one thing, play baseball. Splat. Splat. When Jorge tossed the ball high off the wall, he drifted back and caught it on the fly. When he rifled it lower, he darted left or right to scoop up the resulting grounder. Jorge liked the pop sound when the ball went into the glove's wide, deep pocket. Hey, Jorge. Ernesto and Manuel walked into the vacant lot. The 3 friends were always together. Jorge's mother sometimes jokingly called them the 3 Musketeers. Watch this. Jorge snared a ground ball and underhanded it to Ernesto, who spun and flipped it to Manuel. ¿Qué pasa? What's up? Jorge walked over to where his bat lay on the ground. Here's what's up, he said. Jorge put the bat on his left shoulder. My dad wants me to start batting left-handed and right, he said with a glum voice, to become a switch hitter. A switch hitter is someone who can bat right-handed and left-handed. Manuel gave Jorge a baffled look. That doesn't make sense. You're already a good hitter, batting righty. Ernesto broke in. No, it does make sense. Batting left-handed makes it easier to hit a right-handed pitcher. I guess so, Manuel admitted. Remember that the big right-handed Roberto guy we played this last week in the park? When he pitched sidearm, I thought the ball was coming smack at my head. Whoa, scary. But I didn't strike out, Jorge spoke up. Next worst thing, Manuel teased, a couple of lame taps to the pitcher. The three boys were silent. Then Jorge grinned shyly and said, well, maybe I should practice a little left-handed. They played pepper. Ernesto and Manuel fielded. Jorge batted. His swing felt smoother. Sometimes he even made contact and sent a bouncing ball to one of his friends. Every chance he had, Jorge swung and swung. There were some dry bushes at the edge of the lawn in front of his house. Their tops came up to Jorge's waist. He crouched and swung again. He tried to just skim the tops of the bushes. He swung slowly and evenly. Then he stepped forward and swung with all his might. He felt his wrist snap around cleanly. He spun on his heels. It felt good. More follow-through, Jorge's father called out from the porch, where, unknown to Jorge, he had been watching. Jorge swung again. His father went on. Let's go to the park, and I'll hit you some pop-ups. Yes, Jorge shouted. He loved roaming the infield while his father lofted sky-high pop-ups that never seemed to want to come down. Let's go right now, after I make 10 more cuts.
So, from what we've heard so far in Play Ball, we can tell that this is another book written by a great baseball player, Jorge Pasada, and how he learned to bat lefty. So, in Play Ball, we have a memory that when Jorge was a child, he learned to be a switch hitter. Why is that important? The moment he decided he was going to work hard and put in extra effort to play professional baseball. In the Scraps book, we saw Lois's journey as an artist and children's book author. Why is that important? She followed her dream. She learned to look for art in unexpected places. And the Upside Down Boy was all about Juan's move to a new house and community. And why was that important? He adjusted to a new community. He developed interests and talents in writing, music, and poetry at his new school. So remember, memoirs are written by the people whom the books are about. They include their personal memories and also why they are important. All right, fourth graders, that's all for today. Until next time, bye.